What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another Gamecock recap, and this one is going to be the most difficult of all the two past ones we've done. Have been fairly easy, a good win against Georgia State where we had some issues and we could have, looked better, but we came out on top. Last week against a very good Arkansas team, and we played well, in my opinion. We only lost by 2 touchdowns. We had a chance there to stay in the game. Up until that Marshawn Lloyd fumble, and there were some positives on top of the negatives, but Georgia, South Carolina, yesterday at noon Eastern time in Williams-Brice, not very many positives to pull away from this one, folks. I hate to be a negative person, and I'm going to try and, not be biased, but still be a little positive because there's no reason to just be a completely negative person despite this absolutely atrocious loss, especially at home in front of recruits, big name recruits coming in to visit, and the Gamecocks just did not come out to play. 48-7 was your final. The Georgia offense looked amazing all day long. Stetson Bennett finished with 2 touchdowns, around 300 yards. Their backup quarterback, Beck, came in and threw a touchdown himself. They had a lot of rushing yards, about 208 total yards, 1 touchdown from Bennett on the ground, and 1 touchdown from Milton on the ground, as well as Brock Bowers had a 5-yard little, scoop run there early in that second quarter. At the end of the day, though, the Gamecocks defense just did not come out to play, and, can you really blame them? Missing, I'm not going to bring up excuses, I want to be as unbiased as possible. We were missing 5 starters on defense, 2 of which will be out for the rest of the season. The rest are likely going to be back next week, which is a really good thing, but I think even if we have all 5 of those guys, this game is just way too difficult. The talent was just, you could just tell Georgia's on a completely another level. They have so much more depth. They've got so many more big guys that can, big bodies that can just come out there and they can launch them all at you without a worry in the world. And that really showed today. The Gamecocks struggling with injuries. They have less talent overall. Georgia just came to play. And in my opinion, maybe if there aren't injuries, it's a 50-20 game. Maybe the Gamecocks offense gets going a little bit more. But at the end of the day, we were given a massive loss, 48-7. And really the only positive thing we can look out is the next 2 games should be wins. We should just, completely wipe this from our minds. Georgia's a great team. They won the national championship last year, and they look better this year. How many national championship teams can you say got better the year after? I can't really think of many, but Georgia is definitely one team that I can think of right now that looks a lot better than they did last year, and they were great last year. So, this is just a great team. They're likely going to embarrass every other team they play. I can't imagine another team outside of a big name like Alabama, who's even struggling this year. Alabama, Ohio State, somebody like that. I can't imagine anybody outside of the top 4 competing with this Georgia team. They took down Oregon, who just yesterday beat up on the 12th ranked BYU Cougars and pretty much dominated them the whole day. And they beat Oregon 49-3. Didn't even allow a single touchdown. So this Georgia team is really good. I know a lot of South Carolina fans weren't really hoping for a win, just that the team would maybe show up and play hard, and they did. It looked like they gave up completely by that third or fourth quarter. They were just leaving guys wide open. We dropped a couple passes. We had a couple guys go down with injuries, even more so just for the rest of the game yesterday. We had some true freshmen, walk-ons playing, and you could just tell the Gamecocks defense especially gave up, and I don't want to hate on the defense too much. They were really given a tough job yesterday playing this Georgia team. They've got a great run game. They've got a great passing game. And they tried their best, limited them to 24 points in the first half. And, honestly playing well in that first half, at least for our standards. We had an opportunity there to tie it up 7-7. And now I want to talk about the offense. So at the end of the day, the Gamecock offense left a lot to be desired. The rushing game, we did finally hit 92 yards. That's a record this year. We haven't run for more than 80, I don't think. I think week 1, it was 79 against Georgia State. And last week, we only hit 40. So we actually hit 92 yards today or yesterday. Juju McDowell, 8 for 33. Marshawn Lloyd, 9 for 22. Luke Doty did have 2 runs for 18 yards. Christian Bill Smith still struggling to find his way in this offense with 5 rushes for 6 yards. But the passing game, man, they left a lot to be desired. Spencer Rattler finished the day 13 of 25, 118 yards, and 2 interceptions, not a single passing touchdown. And I think yesterday was really eye-opening. It showed a lot of why he was, benched at Oklahoma, and a lot of why he was transferring from Oklahoma no matter the situation. Now, I do think we've seen across the last few weeks, if you just watch the games, you can tell in his mind, just the way he understands the game. He's the most talented, straight up talented quarterback that South Carolina has had in a while. Just the way he carries himself, just the way he plays the game. He runs the pocket, he plays it well, and he makes some of the most beautiful passes we've had in a long time. But then he goes out there and he throws that 40-yard perfect bomb to Jaheim Bell in response to that first Georgia touchdown. And I'm like, man, this offense, if they can move like this all day, we've got a chance. And he throws one of the dumbest interceptions I've ever seen on that very next play, trying to get that wheel route to Juju McDowell. Obviously, on a wheel route, you want to go farther. Instead, he just throws a bullet straight into the defender's hands. The defender wasn't even guarding McDowell because he was reading Rattler's eyes the entire time. And I think that's really where, and as bad as it is to say, that early in the first quarter, that was when the game was over. This team did not stand a chance once Georgia went up 14-0. The defense wasn't going to be able to stop them. You had to rely on at least a shootout. You had to rely on your offense putting up some points, and they just could not do that. Luke Doty did come in there late in the day. He went 5 for 8, 76 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And, that touchdown was in, garbage time, so you can't really take too much into account as far as that goes. But you still like to score, so thankfully they were able to get them at least one touchdown. The first team to score a touchdown against Georgia this year, so that's a positive, if anything, I guess. But just a rough day. The fans were gone by halftime, and I'm not going to really blame the fans. The team is getting whooped. It's going to be hard to watch them no matter what. And I think this game really showed that it might be time to fire Satterfield. We gave him last year. He struggled to get this offense going. They got it going late in the year, but, still nothing great. Give him this year. And, a lot of people were angry last year, but they're like, okay, we'll give him a chance this year. Hasn't showed much. We had that one fake punt in the first quarter. Kai Kroger throws a beautiful 20-yard pass. They get back on the field offensively and run it straight up the middle 3 plays in a row. I mean, just terrible offensive scheme, just a terrible way to go about trying to be a number 1 ranked team in the country. You've got to be throwing everything at the Georgia Bulldogs if you want even a chance to stay in the game. And the offense just does not look prepared. They didn't look like they wanted to win this game at all. They didn't even try any trick plays. We saw DeCurion Joyner finally at quarterback 1 play there in that first quarter, and it went for nothing. Satterfield, he's disappointed enough this year. He's going to have the rest of the season to get it together, and I hope he does for our sake. But at the end of the day, the Gamecocks offense just has to get better, and I start to wonder if Rattler is the guy. Now, I don't think Rattler's going to be benched after this week. I think going into Charlotte, you've got a chance to get him some confidence. This should be a bit of an easier game. I say should be very tentatively. They did lose their first 3. They got blown out by FAU. They got beat by William and Mary, I believe, which is a surprising thing to see. They got whooped by William and Mary, and then they got absolutely demolished by Maryland. And they actually just won last week against Georgia State, so they come into Williams-Brice on a 7:30 p.m. game, with an opportunity to win 2 straight, and they have a decent team. Their quarterback so far this year, Chris Reynolds, 7 touchdowns, about 600 yards. Only 1 interception, so he protects the ball really well. They don't run the ball as effective as I'm sure they would like to. They've got 162 yards with their starting running back, but what can I say about that? The Gamecocks don't run the ball at all pretty much at this point. So hopefully this week we can kind of build up. The 49ers are 1-3. We're 1-2. These next 2 games against Charlotte and South Carolina State are going to be really big on this team. I mean, assuming these are automatic wins, we go into that massive matchup back in SEC play at 3-2, which would be a really, really big confidence booster. And I'm going to stay positive about it. I hope this week Rattler has an opportunity to come out and prove to himself and prove to this team why he is a good quarterback, because we should definitely beat a team like Charlotte. It should be no contest. 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions so far on the year for Rattler. And if he struggles this week, don't be surprised if Doty makes an appearance, not in garbage time, but I'm talking about starting, maybe even later in that game if we struggle against Charlotte. Don't be surprised if Doty shows up and Rattler's time in Columbia is cut short. But I want Rattler to be successful. He's just got to stop trying to play hero ball. He's got to be more consistent and get himself, grounded to the offense and not try to force things when they're not there. At the end of the day, I have faith that he'll do it, but we are seeing exactly why Oklahoma started Caleb Williams over him. But at the end of the day also, hopefully this week will be kind of a time to recover, get the defense back to at least somewhat healthy. We should be getting Cam Smith back. We should be getting R.J. Roderick back. We should be able to get our rushing game going, because we know those type of things are something that once you get a little momentum, it's kind of a lot easier to get it going and keep it going than if you have no momentum at all and to get it going against a team like Arkansas or a team like Georgia. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy these recaps every weekend. Tough loss yesterday, but we just have to bounce back and keep moving on. This team is still very talented. They're talented enough, in my opinion, to definitely make a bowl game. So I have a lot of faith left in this roster, and I know that they'll play hard and they can make that, make that milestone or goal. And I hope that they eventually will. Thank you guys for watching this one. If you do enjoy my content, hit the like button and subscribe, and comment down below your predictions for next week's matchup against Charlotte. Like I said, should be an easy win, but we never know with this Gamecocks team. They struggle in games where they shouldn't, like the Georgia State game. And yeah, just comment down below how you're feeling about next week's matchup and in general about this roster. Make sure you subscribe if you do enjoy my content. Turn post notifications on so you never miss a video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.